Yeah, so how's a bike carnival work? What did I say carnival? You're listening to The Great and Secret Knowledge, a speculative fiction podcast. I'm Jeff, and with me once again, it's Sophia. Hello, Sophia.
Bling, bling. That's because I went to the bike carnival.
So I have just a prepared statement, more or less, because of some stuff that's happening in the U.S. at the moment. There is a sort of quiet suppression of free speech that's happening. It's very strange. I don't think it affects us yet. However, because of a thing that happened, and then Jimmy Kimmel responded to it, and then the somebody in government suggested that they get him fired or shut down his show. So the parent company just fired him and ended the show.
Mm.
This is the second time something like this has happened. Before it was CBS, where they just, instead of fighting a lawsuit that was frivolous from the government, from Donald Trump, I think, or at least his, his legal department, they just gave him $16 million. So stuff like this will probably continue to happen. If I was to stick by all my convictions, pretty soon we wouldn't be able to cover half the shows we cover because they're distributed by these evil corporations. So I'm having some difficult thoughts that I need to work through. But for now, we will continue to cover Star Trek: The Next Generation, which for now is distributed by Paramount. A lot of people canceled Disney because it's part of the ABC family, but I haven't done that yet. That's where Doctor Who, the new ones, sit right now. All your Star Wars is, there's some other stuff there that I like, but yeah, if I go that route, I'll let the listener know. But for now, all I can say is people are disappearing in the immigration system, and Gaza has been officially ruled a genocide by the United Nations. So everyone in government is complicit unless they change their policies. So that's where we sit in the U.S. Yeah, that's about all I have for now. Sorry for the not funness up top, but I want to be transparent. So this week we watched Star Trek: The Next Generation, episode 20, The Arsenal of Freedom. What did you think of this episode overall?
I didn't love it, I must admit.
Yeah, this is a medium episode. Some people really like it. Most people just kind of,
Yeah.
it's in there. It's not the worst of season 1, but it's yeah.
What do you think of it then? Do you think medium?
I think there's 3 or 4 good plots with a lot of potential. I think there's some really great scenes. I think it's directed really stylishly, other than the production design. The set budget is woeful. But the shots, the cinematography, the the acting, there's a lot to recommend it. But yeah, it's it's a mess.
I was gonna joke that you picked it because they separate the saucer, So it's like,
Yes, they separate the saucer section finally. Oh my God, we've been waiting.
Yeah, and it's even like kind of part of the, I guess, what would you call it? Like the twist of the episode or something. So that's like fun, but it's like treated as like, we're gonna separate. But
Yeah, I
no,
mean that's one of the plot lines that could have been fleshed out more, but instead we meet this chief engineer who we've never met, Logan. He comes onto the bridge, like that was very confronting. But that could have been more developed.
Yeah, and I
think
it
was like, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and I think that it's maybe that you have even, I feel like 3 new characters that are in this episode, and I feel like
the
that
2 ensigns.
Yeah,
because Wesley was off this week for some reason.
Yeah.
So we got that guy Solus, and Data was on the planet, so we got Ensign Sue. Who is really good. She was in Babylon 5. She was a model. She did all sorts of other things. Yeah, she's great. But we never see her again in Star Trek, which is a shame.
Yeah. And I wonder about this. Like, I'm trying to think of the logistics that they have these ensigns. They are not on the bridge, but they are somehow like, they are some other place then, and they are working, but they are not in engineering. Like, what are they doing if they're not there?
Do you mean the people around the back of the thing?
I guess I just mean that they bring these 2 people up to be in the bridge or on the bridge, and I'm not sure what else there is to do. It seems like they're either on the bridge or they are in engineering, and I wonder, is there other sections? Like, where are they staying otherwise?
Yeah, so Ensign Sue, I assume, comes from ops. That's like they do all the energy systems and the I don't know, shields maybe. I don't know. They do a bunch of science-y type stuff.
Okay.
Solus is a helmsman. He might be in the command track. I'm not sure. If so, he'll have a red shirt. I'm not sure. But yeah, there's different departments, and they might work the night shift. Like, this might not be their first time working on the bridge.
That's true.
But yeah, there's a lot of rotating cast members. Usually they have no lines.
It would be funny if they had a night shift episode where it was like all of the crew that are on are like the off shift crew.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. There is a famous episode called Lower Decks, which inspired an entire series, the cartoon comedy show.
Okay.
And that's about some lower decks ensigns. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And I guess Data would be there anyway, though, because he said he doesn't sleep, so he would always be
Right.
in each.
During his sleeping time, he like writes poetry and like acts and plays music. Learns how to sneeze.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
Okay, so the first thing that happens is the ship has been ordered to the Lawrence cluster to find out what happened to the USS Drake. They get to the planet. All intelligent life on Minos disappeared long ago. And we learn that the people were arms merchants, and they supplied arms to both sides in something called the Ursalope Wars. Picard says to Riker, "Do you know the captain of the Drake?" And Riker's like, "Yeah, he knows him well. His name's Paul Rice. He was a good officer."
Yeah, they were in the academy together, right?
Yeah. And he like, I don't know, he did a test a new way that shocked everyone.
How do they have this kind of multiple choice test in the academy? I feel like that seems like so low effort of a test, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, because commanding a starship, it should be multiple, like all manner of possible answers.
Yeah, it seems like it's like, okay, you're in this situation. Are you going right, left, or up? It's like,
And he's like, I'm going down.
ah.
Maybe it's like the three most likely options, and almost nobody does another one.
That could be.
I noticed that Picard looks really drowsy in this scene. It's very odd. Like he took a Valium before shooting. Maybe he was ill. He's on some Sudafed.
Yeah.
So Data says there's no sign of life forms on the planet. And Picard thinks they got to find out why there's no people on the planet. And there are weapon systems down there, possibly. So he wants to send an away team.
Yeah. Can I just say that, is this the time where they talk about also that Riker turned down the command for this ship that this Paul was on?
Oh, yeah. Maybe Yar asks him about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly in which scene they talk about that. But
Yar says you gave up your command for this assignment, and he was like, yeah, I wanted a tour on the Enterprise.
But so when she said your command, does that mean that he could have been the captain on that ship? Or does it just mean like your position? Okay, so that is confusing to me. There is like different ships that are better or not, because I thought that he wanted to be a captain. That was his ambition.
So here's the thing. There's like, say, 200 ships, right? But then there's one that's called the flagship. They basically get the best gigs. They do the most stuff. So it's like prestigious, but also a great learning experience to serve under Picard, who's this celebrated captain. Yeah, and getting your own command is just code for captaining a ship.
Okay. Yeah, I thought so at first, but then I was a little bit unsure. But then I think that probably makes sense, because I can imagine if you have been a captain once, you wouldn't want to step down to serve on some other ship. I assume if you're a captain in some ship, you're not going to be able to go back and be demoted, I suppose, and just like go to some other ship. So then you're a little bit stuck. You can only go to the captain roles then. So
yeah, so in most military services, it's unheard of to like be demoted once you're a captain. There's some kind of lateral moves. Like if he became a captain, he could shift to like working on a star base or back at Starfleet Command or something. But he could never go back down to be the commander under a captain on a ship, basically.
Yeah, unless he was like punished, I assume. Then maybe he would be demoted.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Is this the time when they get the message?
Exactly, yeah. Troy's like, what happened to all those people? Oh, by the way, Troy's in this one.
Yeah.
She's really good. So they throw out speculations. Worf goes, war. Data says, disease. Geordi says, a dissatisfied customer, which I find just incredible.
Yeah, that is pretty funny. Like the idea that someone would just wipe the entire planet because they're like, oh, you sold to both sides. I wrote down maybe some AI killed them all, because that was my thought. Because we talked about how there are this, I guess they're not technically AIs maybe, but you know, we talked about how there is like this kind of machine intelligences that are acting like weird with different planets. So then I thought maybe there was some machine that was, you know, in the orbit and just like killed them all for some reason.
I mean, in a way, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, Yeah, they were right that it's almost impossible to kill off an entire people, right? There would have been refugees and stuff. So this machine intentionally slaughtered everyone.
Yeah.
Absolutely savage. So the automated sales message comes up, and it's the guy from Ghost.
Get off my train!
You ever see Ghost?
No, I haven't.
Okay, it's got Whoopi Goldberg, Patrick Swayze, Demi Moore. It's Patrick Swayze becomes a ghost and has to like save his ex or his former wife.
But there's another ghost as well? Or?
Yeah, this is the one that teaches him how to use his ghost powers more effectively.
Okay. I like that he is so weird looking, because I imagine they said that they had scanned their language package or something like that. So I like the idea that they just like scan their database and then they were like, oh, okay, we'll make this thing. Like, and it's like they don't really have a good grasp of like what would be a appealing salesman. It's just like this weird looking person.
Well, my headcanon then is that they found clips of Ghost.
Yeah.
Copied this guy.
That makes sense. And because he's a sympathetic ghost in that one, he's like helping the main character.
Sort of. He starts out angry, but he does teach him something.
Get off my train!
Now, there's a quote here. He says, peace through superior firepower. I looked it up online because it sounded familiar. It's a paraphrase, they think, of peace through strength. I can't remember what that's from, but that was an older thing. But I swear to God, I've heard the NRA or maybe just like gun advocates use this phrase. But according to the internet, this is probably the first time it was used.
Couldn't they have used it after? Or how do you mean? First time?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But like this is, as far as I could tell, this is the first time this phrase was
yeah.
coined.
It's not like based on some other phrase.
Oh, which reminds me, I didn't mention the writers, Richard Manning and Hans Beimler. And this one had a lot of people in the soup. You had Gene Roddenberry, Maurice Hurley, and Robert Lewin. We've talked about them before. They kind of came up with the story. And then Manning and Beimler, I believe, are the kind of writers that work together a lot. A writing team, they call them. And they worked on Fame. Did you ever hear about Fame?
Yeah, but I don't remember anything about it.
It was like an arts college or an arts high school in New York. Sort of the precursor to Glee, in a way.
I don't think that I know it, actually. I think that I'm just confusing it with Fame Factory. That's a different thing.
They worked on the short-lived William Shatner series called Tech War. I've never seen it, but it's got low ratings. They also worked on Farscape, which is another sci-fi series. But I thought the writing wasn't terrible in this episode. Some good dialogue moments.
Yeah, I agree. I thought there was nothing that I at least reacted badly to, so it was serviceable. And I did like some of the, I guess, like how it was laid out, like the reveal of this AI and these things.
Yeah. Also, the director was sort of a journeyman, but once he got to Star Trek, he did tons of episodes, which makes sense because this one, at least, is pretty stylishly directed. Oh, he also directed the abysmal third episode of season 1, Code of Honor, which is like the Black Planet. We skipped it.
Now I want to also. We should watch the worst one or something, like the very worst one. Maybe we don't have to record about it. We can just be like, oh, that one was bad, and then people would know.
Well, didn't you watch
that I know.
Naked Now?
Yeah, but that one was all right. I don't think it was like the worst one. I mean, I think that, like you said, it was stupid that it was so early on. But if it had come more into the series, I would have thought like, okay, that's a little bit weird, but
Gotcha. So back into the mix. Let's see. Yar recommends a small away team in case the weapons are still active. They'll be quick and mobile. And as they're going into the turbo lift, Riker does this like fucking ballet whip around. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Picard eyes to commercial. After the theme song, we're down on Minos, and this is a terrible potted plant set
Yeah.
with a static blue sky. It's called a cyc or a cyclorama. These like solid color curtains that like pretend to be the sky.
Oh. I thought that the lighting was terrible as well, because it's so, at least at the very start, it's like, it's so weirdly lit that they look so like they just cut into the stage.
Yeah, the light is coming in sideways, which is fine for making their faces look good, but it makes everything else look kind of fake. Like, because there's no obvious light source, there's no sun, you know, it's clearly coming in from like the side.
Yeah, I think it's maybe that like you said, when it comes from the side, it's like too much aimed, the light. So if they were really outdoors, the light would be more evenly distributed when they are like this in this kind of open air space. So I think that's why it looks strange.
It's really noticeable when you see Yar's shadow land on Data, and it's like, what the hell? Is there a giant searchlight somewhere?
Yeah, maybe it's the AI searchlight.
Yeah, and the fog is there to disrupt or to disguise where the light's coming from.
Yeah.
So they split up, and Riker finds a guy who claims to be former Captain Paul Rice.
And this is the only thing we see of him. I was actually surprised. I thought they would find him somewhere, because they introduce him and talk about, oh, he's like this person, da, da, da. And then we never actually meet him. He's already dead.
Yeah, it really feels like a previous rewrite was more about finding the survivors of the Drake.
Oh, yeah. That could be.
Whereas in this, it's just an AI projection.
But in some ways I like it, because then you don't really, they build this up, so then you think that, okay, maybe it is him, or like maybe I guess it's more of a reveal that way.
Yeah. Up on the ship, Picard's giving orders to Ops. It's Ensign Sue, Sue, TSU, and she is played by Julie Nixon, who's from Singapore and all over. And she also played the commander's girlfriend, Catherine Sakai in Babylon 5. She was really good. Yeah, she's great. I think this is her only appearance in Star Trek of any sort. So Paul Rice, this weird looking dude, he keeps asking about the qualities of the Enterprise. He's like basically trying to get intel. The other two show up. Data can't find any life signs, and Riker's trying to play it cool. And it's clear that it's got like limited, what's it called? Like insight. Like it's not picking up that Riker's lying to it.
Yeah.
And he starts just saying numbers. He's like 10, 6.
Yeah, and it's funny, before he also tries to somehow confuse him about saying that he's not on the Enterprise and that he has another ship. And then he's just like, what is the name of the ship? He's just like lies really badly.
It's the good ship Lollipop.
Yeah.
On the good ship, lollipop, it's a night trip. Into bed you hop and dream away. On the good ship, lollipop.
Which I believe is a reference to the Shirley Temple song.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
So he's kind of trying to be silly. And I think that's a technique to find out if there's a real person behind the hologram. Because they'd immediately pick up that that's silly, whereas a computer program might not. I think that's why he starts spitting out numbers to see how smart it is, which I find is pretty economical writing, which is nice. But then he like gets into it. He's like, "You don't remember my name," and the thing is like, "Oh shit, you're on to me," and that's when he disappears. And we see the robot, the Echo Papa 607 weapons platform. And it's got kind of a, I don't know, like a Cobra vibe to it. Without the snaky part, just the head.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that, but yeah, I agree.
What did you think of this design?
I liked the design of the robot itself, but there was too much of this action when they were trying to shoot the robot and it was trying to shoot them, and it was not... Like, why is it so bad at aiming? And like, it's just very aged, like dated, all of this.
Well, they didn't have the money to make good cover, right? It's just styrofoam rocks here and there, covered with some, I don't know, fake vines. So it's hard to believe that this thing could keep missing them. But this is a problem throughout sci-fi, right? Stormtroopers can never hit anyone.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe it would have been better if they had some kind of deflection or something, like maybe they had like almost like a shield, but it's maybe not as strong as a ship. So maybe it can hit once, but then once it's, then they have to reload it.
Right. They could have, another thing that would require budget is they could have been hit like flesh wounds, damage the uniform. They could have had choreo or stunt work where they like jump really hard out of the way.
They do have one thing where Data throws. Where is it now? That's funny.
He throws Yar and then leaps down. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But in Doctor Who, it's super egregious because they'll have to run from people shooting at them, but their set's too small. So it just looks absolutely absurd most of the time.
They could have a moving background. They're running on a treadmill or something. Then they could.
Oh, yes. In the first episode of Doctor Who, they run and people like whip branches at them and it's like really tight on the shot on their faces and like whatever, so it looks like they're running. Let's see. They start to beam up and then the thing hits Riker with a beam that freezes him. It's like this energy egg around him. Yar kills the drone. Data scans Riker and he can't figure out if he's alive or not. He appears to be in some kind of stasis, and Data suggests that he might be being prepared for storage, which is ominous. Picard and Crusher go down to the surface to investigate, and Picard leaves Geordi in command. And this is a big deal because I don't think he's ever been in command. Also, minor plot hole, Geordi has the most sophisticated sensors of the crew, so maybe he should have gone down instead of Picard.
Yeah, maybe he could have seen but I guess, did they have a problem that it was hard to spot it at this point?
I think it was mostly I was thinking of the energy field around Riker. He might have been able to learn something from that.
That could make sense.
But Data learns pretty quick that he can figure out how to disable it. It'll just take time. Troi starts to speak up against Picard going down, and he doesn't even entertain that. I thought maybe Picard wanted to go down in case there was a diplomatic solution.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he
But there's
wanted
nobody down there. Maybe he thought he could talk to the weapon system and get it to turn off, which I guess bears out.
Yeah,
He does eventually.
that's true. I guess he does talk to the weapon system.
So here my note is the lighting is great, but it leads to some awkward sideways shadows. So I guess we disagreed on that that subject. But Picard's skin just looks like glowy and incredible. Yar's makeup is all shiny. Worf's picking up some sensor readings, and more Cobra bots come after the team. They separate. Picard and Crusher fall down a pit, and somehow they survive this 30-foot fall.
Yeah. They said it in meters, did they?
Oh, yeah, they use meters on this show. So, about 10 meters.
It's because it's utopian.
Now, this starts a plot, which could be its own episode, in which Picard has to care for Beverly, and she is sort of in between pains or whatever. Every time he looks away, she's like clearly thinking, one, she might die, which is interesting for a doctor. And two, because of that, maybe she should tell Picard how she really feels about him. But she never does.
I didn't really get that specifically, but...
Yeah, maybe it's something you only pick up in hindsight. Because we do learn eventually that she has held a torch for him.
Yeah, I mean, I did feel it, but it was mostly also because, it's always like if two people are in this, intimate, dangerous situation, of course, you're going to be like, oh, okay, this is like a little bit of tension. But otherwise, I didn't feel it specifically.
Yeah, I mean, this might be the episode that kicked off 1,000 ships.
Yeah. And I was thinking about it. Did you ever watch The 100?
The 100. I think I watched the first half of the first season.
Yeah, I would say probably the first season is the good one. It's like, it is pretty good for what it is, but it has some good moments. But I watched some of it, and there's a scene where two people fall into a cave like this, and then they're like, oh, like I don't even remember exactly, but I think it's like they are very one of them is dying also, I think, and crushed by rocks
I wonder if
or
they
something.
were inspired by this.
Yeah, I mean, I could really see it because it felt very similar, and they were, of course, having like this kind of truthful moment, like, oh, you must go on. I don't really remember.
I mean, technically it happens more than once in this show. I wonder if it's based on an even older story.
Yeah, it could be.
I mean, we've had caves and people trapped in them for centuries.
Now we have to find
hundreds of thousands of years.
Yeah, now we have to find the original, like two people falling down into a pit and having but it is an interesting context because it's like you separate two people and they are stuck in this prison, and it can be an interesting way for people to interact. I guess I'm sure you could find, like, there's probably a TV trope for it, people falling down into a pit. And I'm thinking about also the what is it now, the For All Mankind, there's another where people get like buried into some underground, and this is also feels a little bit like
there's
that.
like a horrible radiation storm just outside the cave, and policy dictates that she not leave the cave, but there's a man down, and so she goes out and is exposed to horrific radiation, but she saves his life.
That's another one. I was thinking about the one that is later on. There's two people getting stuck in this underground situation. And I guess it feels kind of similar to that too, where they're like, oh, we're dying, and then they have confessions, but not enough confession.
I think I remember that one. Did it involve the truck getting stuck in rocks and one of them's like ankle is broken or something?
No.
Maybe.
Sorry.
Okay, maybe it happens 3 times.
Maybe I'm being too vague. I'm just trying to protect me from spoilers and not say which place it is or which people are stuck or.
I'm gonna have to put in a spoiler horn.
Yeah.
So let's see. Data and Yar kill the bot. It looks like it's improved itself in the last 10 minutes.
I like that also. Like when we talked about the writing and the things that we liked, I did like that. It was fun to have a subplot that it improves, and it's not spelled out at first. It's just like towards the end that you get this explanation.
Now, do we think this is just part of the demonstration to show, like a tutorial almost, how it like gets better and better, or is this just how it works every time it comes into contact with a new tactic or tech, it improves itself?
I mean, you would wonder why not be the best immediately. But I could see it maybe wanting to, maybe there's like preserve power or preserve data capacity or something. And then it's like starts on this minimum level and then it can just upgrade. So I would say it's probably the design that it always upgrades like this.
You know, it's a gross example to mention, but there was a squad in World War II, the Nazis, when they were running low on ammo, they had all these ways to like kill large groups of people with fewer and fewer bullets. So maybe it's something like that, like you only use as much power as you need.
Yeah, I could see. Although you said that this is post-scarcity, but maybe this was before that. So maybe this is old weapons.
Oh yeah, this is a non-Federation colony, so maybe that was part of their remit. But I think it's that it's upgrading itself automatically.
Yeah. I remember though something I was gonna say about Picard and Crusher in their cave. When they fall down at first, I thought actually that we were gonna find some people at that point, because I thought that maybe they couldn't see the life forms, but they would be hidden underneath the ground. So then when they fell down there, this other captain would come and like, hello, we are hiding here underneath the earth.
Oh, that would have been cool. Yeah. So they notice that the comms have stopped working, and Data speculates that it might have been the energy from the weapons that did it. And they head off to look for the captain and the doctor.
It's very common that all of their systems are disrupted in different ways. And I'm not mad about it, because we know how it is for us. It's always like for us right now, it's like, oh, my Wi-Fi is not working. If I was... If this was like a story, people would be like, oh, how convenient, her Wi-Fi wasn't working and then she was murdered or something.
I think in this one, it makes perfect sense. It's a weapon system that responds to threats. So when they realize that there's a coordinated offensive, they jam comms so you can't coordinate. And then the device... hub, which is underground, is maybe shielded or also projects a jamming system to prevent beaming. But yeah, that's the super common trope in this show, because they have to like make it easier to put the people in peril. Otherwise, they just beam out at the first sign of trouble.
Yeah.
Down in the hole, Crusher is losing blood. Comms don't work, and he starts treating her wound. I like the moment he apologizes for ripping off her sleeve. That was cute.
Yeah, but why didn't she tell him? Why didn't she tell him she had another wound on her leg?
The only answer is that she isn't thinking clearly.
Yeah.
And after being treated a little bit, she realizes.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense.
I don't know. Maybe somehow she didn't feel it at first because there was so much pressure. Maybe she thought it was just hurting from that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
She says she has to stay conscious. So I assume that's because she might have a concussion.
Oh, yeah. That could be true. And yeah, but I don't know. Okay, that makes sense. I didn't really get that there was supposed to be a concussion. That makes more sense for me because I thought that she was kind of passing out from the pain, but it didn't really read that way. So I was not sure.
Don't know if you're supposed to keep somebody awake if they're going into shock. Maybe so. But there's like a whole concussion protocol. Like he should have like checked her pupils, did the finger back and forth thing.
Yeah.
Asked her questions about stuff she would know. Also, he doesn't see if she's paralyzed, like see if she can move her leg.
No.
And he tries to like lift her up and she doesn't go like, you're not supposed to move me. So yeah, the writers might not have had the greatest concept of medical protocols.
No. And I think that was, when I said that I had some dislikes about this episode, it was one, the effects, and then it was like this thing where they were in the cave, because I felt it was just too, Picard just seems so bad at this, and I'm like, you should at least know the basics. I'm sure it's not like they send the doctor down every time when they go somewhere. You would know the first aid.
He has been in Starfleet for 50 years or something.
Yeah.
He's been in a million situations. Surely he's done like field medical aid.
Yeah. I guess, maybe if they have some kind of medical aid machine, so, but we haven't really seen it, but maybe it's kind of like, I like this this is just a side note, but in the one of the Verkosigan books, they have like these doctors that are in this prison, and then the doctor comes to examine a patient, and they're like, oh, I can't do anything. I don't have like any of my medical devices. Well, and they just like feel so bad because they feel like I'm not even like a doctor. I'm just like, using these tools that I've been given, and they feel like they know nothing.
Yeah, he splints her arm with a stick.
Yeah.
Like this is a classic thing in role-playing games where you like take away a person's gear to like make things more difficult. So the only thing that can explain this is like her medical bag went flying when she fell down the hill.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make sense because Data would have found it.
Oh yeah, he could have brought it.
But
maybe he missed
maybe
that
it's
it went
under
flying.
a huge.
Yeah.
Maybe it's under a huge pile of rubble.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think so. And I think that it works. The idea that they usually use this. Like, maybe they don't need to be able to tell what is broken because they just scan them and then they can see. So that they don't really need to know a lot about how to look for things, So, but I think that in that case, they would need to have this with them all the time. And her bag was pretty large. He could have something on him, that would...
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Everybody, when they go on an away team, has a tricorder. Where's his? It's foolishness. So upstairs, Data releases Riker from his little field. Riker's fine, just a little groggy. And then we're up in orbit. Worf says, so this is weird. Worf says shields have come up as if he's not the one that did it.
Maybe he did
that
it.
seem strange to you?
No, I don't think. I think that I thought that they put the shields up and then he's saying like, okay, it's done now.
Interesting, because he says beam up, Geordi says beam up the team, and Worf puts on the shields, which means you can't beam.
Oh, okay. No, then I don't know.
So I feel like this is a writing problem. He should have said, I'm picking up an object off the port bow, and then puts up the shields. from an abundance of caution, or maybe even have Geordi order him to.
Yeah.
But by putting that, like, we're going to beam thing right before it confuses. And then somebody starts shooting at him. And it keeps popping in and out of existence before they can get a shot. And then this really weird thing happens. We get a call from Chief Engineer Logan, who wants to know what's happening. And he fucking comes all the way up to the bridge.
Yeah. As if they
What
don't
did you
have
think of
video
this
call.
guy? Oh, right. Yeah, no video call.
I feel like this episode had too high of a ceiling because he was just like refusing to follow orders. He should be fired right after
It
this
was
episode.
so weird. But Geordi can't fire him because he's their chief engineer and they're in a crisis, right?
Yeah, I mean right then, but I think I don't know. It was
Oh,
just
like later on, well, don't worry, he will be fired. We'll never see him again.
oh, that's why we don't see him again. He was fired after this. They should have ended it with that. They should always, tie all the loose ends up, I feel, at the end. So they should have like these other ensigns. They should come and be like, oh, we don't want to work here anymore. And then he is fired.
This guy's makeup was so like bright.
Yeah.
It really looked like he was about to go on stage. And he's like, maybe I should take command. And Geordi's like, absolutely not.
Yeah. And that's why, I mean, I think this is something that we have talked a little bit about the show, is that I think the idea is that the humans are supposed to be a little bit more, I want to say uplifted, but that's not the right term. But like, they're supposed to be a little bit more evolved than our current ones. And I feel like sometimes it becomes weird because like they're just like, oh, let's just like discuss this, like about who is, like, because if
in the middle of a fight.
Yeah,
right?
because
this guy comes all the way up to like take Geordi's job. Like,
yeah,
what the hell?
It's weird.
I outrank you. Mr. Logan, I'm in command.
And I think that the idea is that it shows somehow, I'm not sure how to put it, but like in one way it shows like Geordi, he's like, the way he responds is that he's trying to be a little bit reasonable and, kind of, okay, I see your point, like let's try it my way, this kind of thing. And I think that it's kind of deliberate in the way that they just don't want everyone to just fight. Like they want to be a little bit more calm, I suppose. But then it becomes very weird, because it's like this is not the time for that.
Yeah, in a way, it's like this plot needs Geordi to be questioned. But for me, the first time I saw this, I felt like, is this guy being possessed by the weapon system? Like, nothing like this ever happens. I mean, there's one moment in the original Star Trek where a guy had to be thrown off the bridge because he was questioning the captain in a crisis. But, like, this got real close. It really looked like this guy was contemplating mutiny.
Yeah, it really did. And I think that's also part of it, is that you could probably have toned this down a bit to have the engineer guy come there and question him, but more to be like, oh, I must advise against this, or I have to, like, I think that you should do this. But the idea that he comes there and just specifically, explicitly says, I think that I should be captain and I can take over, it seems a little bit too extreme. And I think that maybe they could have made it a little bit more subtle. Then
Yes.
it would work better that they had this kind of I guess it becomes weird when he is so offensive and then Geordi is just so chill about it. It should be more a little bit more indirect, I feel like.
I like how Geordi smiles and he's like, I'm not discounting your experience. I'm counting on it. Like, I feel like this is Geordi feeling himself. He's like, yeah, I'm in command, and I'm gonna focus on everybody's strengths. He says, we need you in engineering, essentially. But right after that, Troi looks worried. I almost feel like Troy's there to remind us that this guy isn't possessed. Like, he's just a guy. Right? Because otherwise she'd be like, I'm getting nothing from Logan. What's happening?
Yeah. No, I thought that this was supposed to be a little side plot of its own, because you see her, now I'm jumping ahead of it, but you see her coming to Geordi. You see
she's sort of evaluating him, and later she comes in and is like,
yeah.
I see you're having trouble.
No, but she doesn't feel like he is having trouble. That's why, because I think that this was a little bit of a misdirection. They show her looking worried, and we think that it's like, oh, she doesn't like the way that he dealt with this guy. But she's fine with it. She just says that you have to actually make sure that other people are feeling as, doing as well as you are.
Yeah. It's almost like maybe he needs to smile less and be more authoritative.
Yeah, I could see that maybe the other, like, he is treating these people maybe too much like peers, and then these ensigns need to have a little bit of a captain, and not that he should like be aggressive towards them, but just that maybe he feels like, oh, I will just do my part, and then he doesn't really think about what they need specifically from his role. He just feels everybody is cooperating, kind of.
Back down on the planet, Riker's a little groggy. Data gets shot at. They all take cover.
Yeah, it's this when he throws Yar. That's funny.
I am getting energy readings. Look out!
Yeah, they do the two-person thing again, but this time the robot has deflector shields. Yar says they'll need, now it's going to need 3 phasers to take it out. And finally that works. I like how at the start of that shot, one of them is shooting in completely the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Now, if they had better effects, the thing would be bobbing and weaving, right? And so it'll take a second for them to converge. But yeah, they can't make that thing move around.
I thought that maybe the idea was that they would shoot to the sides to kind of keep it from going to the side. I guess that was my to kind of make sense of it. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. This episode's better than I thought. So Data, this is where Data tells us it's upgrading at intervals of precisely 12 minutes. Back down in the hole, Picard says we seem to be in an underground structure, and he's looking for a way out but hasn't found one. And Dr. Crusher is starting to fall asleep, so he's doing his best to keep her awake. And this is where I was like, why didn't she tell him her leg was also cut? Come on, Doctor.
Yeah. But I think it makes sense, like you said, if she has a concussion, maybe she's a little bit confused.
Yeah.
Maybe that's when I needed less subtlety. So they should have told, like, I have maybe a concussion, and then I would have been able to figure out what was going on.
You know, one thing that rarely happens when somebody has a concussion in a show is that they vomit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably because it's gross and messy. Get the uniform grossed out.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I feel like I've seen, sometimes they have this kind of thing where they just vomit off screen or, vomit to the side. They could have done that.
Picard has to hold her hair. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Picard says this is going to hurt a bit. Oh, he's dealing with her leg. And she says, I've heard that before. That was a nice little doctor moment.
This is gonna hurt a bit.
I've heard that before.
So this is where they need a clotting agent. She tells him to go check out this route and taste it. It's bitter, so she has him rub it on his hand, and it starts to turn yellow. And that tells her that it will work as a clotting agent. So he comes over and starts putting it on the wound. Next, she says she's going into shock, so he elevates her legs, and she says to try to keep her warm. And I had this thought, right? They don't have a blanket, so I was like, well, he could take off his uniform and use that as a blanket. And then we'd have Picard in his skivvies for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, it was.
I guess they weren't there yet.
I think it was rude of him to not do it.
Exactly.
Could have made a scarf.
Or he could lay with her and give her some warmth that way.
Yeah, they missed the opportunity. And also, she's like buried in this dirt, just put something so that she's not on the ground. But maybe the ground is not cold. Maybe she is just getting cold from the shock.
Right, yeah.
But I did like it when he was kind of tricking her because she was going into shock. And he was like, oh, if a patient goes into shock, what should you do? And things like get her a little bit.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, like making her sort of abstract herself as a patient.
Yeah.
So he starts looking for a way out again. Up in orbit, Geordi's ready to isolate the pattern of the bot's attack, or the ship's attack. So Worf they're working together trying to anticipate where it'll show up next. It shows up, Worf fires, and there was this great visual effect. I think that here and the saucer separation, they blew their visual effects budget. Because the phaser loops around the front of the ship and fires, and then the torpedo comes out and splits into 5 torpedoes. Just looks fucking rad.
Yeah.
But it fails completely. And the ship is still getting rocked. Geordi kind of freezes for a second. And I thought that was kind of a powerful moment where we're like, is Geordi going to crack? And then he calls Logan up to the bridge and we're like, is he going to surrender command? Thought that was pretty cool. And it goes to commercial. Back from commercial, Logan arrives on the bridge and Geordi says we're going to leave the system, or we're going to leave the orbit at least. And there's this moment where Logan has this look finally, yeah, I'm going to get my way. And he goes, you are going to take command. And Logan smiles. And then he goes, of the saucer section.
Mr. Logan, you are going to take command of the saucer section.
That was I thought that was a good acting moment.
Isn't that when after they had left and done the warp drive?
Yeah, they're 30 seconds away from the planet, basically.
Yeah, because before I was also confused about Logan because he is now questioning, because for a while he said, oh, we have to go, I thought, previously in the episode.
Right,
and
that was a little confusing.
Yeah,
so
and
at first he's like, we should leave orbit, and now he's like, we shouldn't leave orbit.
Yeah, it was weird. Maybe he's just trying to get the command. That's the only explanation. That makes sense to me. That he's trying to question, oh, you're not making the right decision.
It's interesting. Yeah, I don't know if Riker would flip that dramatically. I know the first officer is supposed to act as a questioning voice to the captain, but I don't know if they're supposed to flip entirely like that. That was pretty odd.
Yeah.
So he tells him he's going to command the saucer section. Geordi will command the battle bridge or the star drive section and head back to the planet. And this is a beautiful scene where Geordi goes into the ready room and he just kind of luxuriates. And all I'm thinking is he's been in command for 20 minutes and he's like, well, this was fun while it lasted. And then Troi comes in to have that conversation we mentioned earlier. I thought this was just a great performance. LeVar really had the goods. Like, he's going from thoughtful to happy to like concerned all at once.
Yeah, I agree.
Troi praises him for his performance as captain, and then she says Solus and Sue are uneasy and they need Geordi to draw strength from. And she says they look to you for guidance and leadership. And he seems really appreciative.
They look to you for guidance and for leadership. Help them. Show confidence in them.
Like Captain Picard showed confidence in me. Right. I understand. Thanks, Counselor.
Next, we're in the battle bridge. He sits in the chair. This was awesome. I was like, oh, he's sitting in the chair. Yeah. And the separation begins, and it looks fucking awesome, as usual. I couldn't remember if this was like the same shots or a new one. It felt fresh, but maybe that's just because we haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah, I couldn't remember either.
I noticed that the computer voice seemed like a little bit behind the visuals, because it's like magnetic whatever is changing, and like the saucer's well away at that point. I was like, that's interesting. So they fly the star drive back to the planet. Back down in the hole, Picard still hasn't found an exit. He's like, tell me about how you knew about the roots. And that's when she tells him about her grandmother helping colonize Arvada 3. And he goes, such a tragedy.
She helped to colonize Arvada 3.
Arvada 3? It's such a tragedy.
And there was so much like history in that phrase, you know, like, and they never tell us what happened there, but basically they were cut off, presumably from aid shipments, ran out of medical supplies. So she had to use roots and herbs.
Yeah, and he didn't know that she was from this planet. Or as I understood it, like Dr. Crusher was born there.
Yeah, no. This seems hard to believe. Like, from what all I know about Picard, his lieutenant was her husband, and they were like best friends. And he never heard that she's from Arvada 3. It seemed a little odd.
Because I feel like that would be the same as, knowing which country someone is from. That you wouldn't just be like, what? You're not from this? I guess she could have, maybe they met on some other planet and he didn't really think about. He just assumed she was from that one.
Now, it does comport with the idea that Picard is kind of self-absorbed and doesn't get to know his subordinates as much as, say, other officers might. He holds himself aloof. So maybe he just never asked Jack about his wife. Or maybe, now I've been in this situation before where if you find yourself attracted to somebody's partner, you like avoid the subject entirely.
Oh, yeah.
So as not to seem too interested.
So 2 signs in this episode, according to you.
And he finds a computer. It's a tracking device. It's like and it turns out it's the main computer or interface for this weapon system. Oh, and this is a moment where she seems to be thinking about telling him some secret. I mentioned that earlier. The look on her face. So, and now Subway Ghost comes back and he starts telling him about the Echo Papa 607, the ultimate weapon system.
Versatile, powerful, and easy to use. The 607 does it all. Its various modules can gather information, neutralize ground personnel, even destroy enemy space vessels.
The Enterprise.
Maybe they should have knew.
Enterprise.
Sorry, I was gonna say maybe they would have known about this if they listened to the entire message up on the spaceship, because they was like, "Oh, turn it off. It's too boring." Ads.
Oh my god. Oh, that's embarrassing. Yeah, Data could have like read that message completely, like in seconds. So I guess we just have to assume that it never said it could attack in orbit.
Yeah.
So Picard challenges the ghost. He's like, your own creation destroyed you. Then he's like, can you switch targets, turn it off? And he says, we can't demonstrate its abilities if we don't let it leave the nest. Upstairs, the team finds the hole. Data decides he can safely jump down there. And then he jumps down and scans Crusher.
It is impressive.
Because he has his tricorder. What's that?
I was going to say it is impressive. He could jump like almost 12 meters and be fine.
Oh, God.
He's too powered, I feel like. What is his weakness except, sometimes, I don't know, not understanding some
Let's see.
specific
We've
language.
learned that he can be turned off with just a switch in his lower back.
Yeah.
I think he can be overpowered by like an electromagnetic pulse if it's powerful enough. What else? I mean, he can be shot by a big weapon.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've seen that yet, but
I just feel
possible.
like since he's so much better than the humans, he should have some other weakness that they don't. But I guess that he does have like you said, the switch that you can turn him off.
I mean, by making him so critical, it forces them to decide where to deploy him. And so it makes things harder for the other team, whether it's in orbit or on the planet or whatever. So that's sort of a weakness, I guess. Kind of like Superman, where like Superman could do anything, but he can only be one place at a time.
Yeah, and also in this, down here on the planet, he also has to, when he jumps down to them, then he is not up on the ground level anymore.
Exactly. He can't jump back up.
Yeah.
That would be even more overpowered.
Now I want him to have like, if he is really strong, he could jump really high. Now I want him to have like jump like this really high distance. That
or
would look funny.
like shove his fingers into the walls and climb back up the walls.
Oh yeah.
Like that would be fucking rad. Or have like his take off his shoes and his feet are like super climby feet. Or like spiders, there's like little hooks or glue or something.
I guess that's one of the weakness for him, that he has a human body, and I guess that can in some ways be impractical because it's not made for all kind of different situations.
Yeah, he can be overpowered and held if people are strong enough. Or if there's enough of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas if he was a constantly shifting transformer type robot, it'd be harder to disable.
Yeah, that it would be. And also, like you said, like he could have a lot of different equipment and stuff, but I don't think that he does because he has just normal human features.
Right. He doesn't have like shoulder mounted rockets.
No, or like gecko, feet or something, so that he can climb.
Yes, yep. Or chameleon cloaking.
Oh yeah, that could be cool.
So yeah, because he's down there, Yar and Riker don't have a chance against the robots. So they just need to hide. Up in orbit, the star drive section has returned, and Geordi gives this great speech. I think this will be the quote at the end of the thing, but he says, "You know your jobs. You've been trained.
You've been trained, you've been tested, and you've earned the right to sit in those chairs."
Oh, it gave me chills. I love a good speech. So the thing says another weapon has been launched. They can't use their weapons to shoot the power source. Oh, Data's like, could we trick it into shooting this thing? And he's like, no, it'd blow up like the whole area. It starts attacking Yar and Riker, they run for cover. And it's about to kill them when Crusher yells, "Why don't you shut it off?"
Why don't you just shut it off?
And so Picard's like, "Oh yeah," he starts talking to the salesman. It wants to keep demonstrating. He says, "Why? You haven't seen half of what this beauty can do." And Picard's like, "We buy it. We'll buy it." And that ends the demonstration. Or does it? Because up in orbit, the ship is still being harassed.
Yeah. Maybe they think these are two different customers.
Yeah, Picard found the surface view screen, but not the orbit view screen.
Yeah.
So Geordi wants to go down into the atmosphere, and they're all like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, because it'll, if the thing follows us, it'll be betrayed by turbulence." He says, "Cloak or no cloak, we'll spot it by its turbulence."
Yeah, I like that as a solution.
Yeah, nice visual effect of it heating up in the atmosphere. The ship is reaching the edge of its tolerances, and then the thing appears, and they kill it. And oh man, Ensign Sue is so happy, like relief. I really feel like she came across in that moment, acting wise. Solus is all like relieved, and yeah, they seem like little kids for a second. Picard and Riker appear, and Picard doesn't reassume command. He wants LaForge to command until they meet up with the saucer. I assume just to be nice and give him more time in the chair.
Yeah, I think so.
And Geordi's really chuffed. He goes down and orders them to rendezvous with the saucer, and then he sits down and says, "Engage," just like Captain Picard.
Yeah.
So sweet.
It makes me wonder, though, that there are not that many command positions, and now we see it. It kind of makes it seem like everybody is just setting their sights on command. You know, that it's supposed to be the end game for them, and that not everybody can be in command. Like most people have to be able to be happy with being just a subordinate.
Yeah, so one of the changes they made from the original to this one is in the original, the people in the command track were in gold, and in this one, they're in red. So like Picard, Riker, Geordi starts out in command, which is why he was given command this episode. But Solus, the helmsman, is also in red. So that's what makes me think he might be a night shift guy. And he's being trained in command. So in command, we learn later in the franchise that for a while until they get a command position, they train in different departments so they can see how everybody works and meet everybody. So maybe Solus isn't always behind the helm, for example. Maybe sometimes he's in engineering or security. Also Worf. Worf wears red as well. In the original series, Scotty was engineering, so he didn't wear a command outfit. And what's his name? Spock wore blue because he was in science. But they were also commanders. And I think eventually became captains. But yeah, there's much fewer command track people than there are other operations.
But I like that the way that you explain it is that at least there's really only a few that are potential captains.
Yeah. And Geordi, in next year, he becomes chief engineer. So I kind of get the sense that like he had a taste of command and he was like, it's not really for me. And goes to he takes Logan's job essentially.
Oh yeah, because Logan was fired, so then he has to take it over. But couldn't it be like you said? They have in different positions. Maybe it's just a way to learn, to get.
Yeah. So eventually, like way in the future of the franchise, he becomes the commodore of an entire station. And before that, he commands the Mars shipbuilding. They call it the Utopia Planitia shipyards. So like he is in command in a way, but it's like engineering command. I don't know if he ever commands an entire ship. I'm gonna look. Does Geordi captain his own vessel? Maybe so. The USS Challenger? That's interesting. Oh, it'll take too long to look into that. Maybe it's like from a video game or something. It's not something I'm aware of from the main series. Yeah. He in Star Trek Picard, he commands the ship museum. That's the third season of Picard. It reunites everybody from this show. The
ship museum, I don't get it. Is it like a museum of ships or?
Yeah, it's like all the most famous ships from Starfleet history like are kept there. I think they do other stuff there, but yeah, that's
So it's like their actual ship, or is it just replicas? Or, tiny models?
No, it's the actual ships. They end up, like, getting the old Enterprise out of mothballs and using it.
Huh.
I think.
That must take so much room to keep all the ships there. And I wonder what the purpose, because a big part of them is just going to be this random crew quarters and stuff. It's not like it's...
Yeah, I truly think it's just a kind of... You know how older people, as they're right before retirement, they get kind of a cake job? I think it's like that. So it's a starbase it's a really big starbase because it has to accommodate all these giant ships. But yeah, it's so cool. The Klingon ship from Star Trek II is there. The Voyager's there. Yeah, it's really cool. Actually, the Bounty, the Klingon ship, is from the end of Star Trek III, The Search for Spock, and all of Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, and maybe a little at the start of Final Frontier. I don't remember. I haven't seen that movie very much. Yeah, so that's that episode. Geordi is in command. I think that was my favorite of the plots, or like the one that worked the best. I feel like the Crusher Picard was sort of a missed opportunity in terms of bringing them closer together. And as far as like I like an episode that's about something, and I kind of felt like for this, Arms Merchants was just sort of a plot element. It wasn't really the point of the episode.
No, I agree. I think that the personal conflict was the Geordi stuff.
Yeah.
But I think in theory, I liked all of the different storylines. I just think that they were not well executed.
Yeah.
Because I like, the arms salesman. That was like a fun little plot.
Versatile, powerful, and easy to use.
And then like them falling into the cave. That's like a very... Like we talked about, it's like done a lot, and I like you said, they could have done more with it. Just having them actually do a little bit more interaction. Maybe they could have even set it up somehow in the start of the episode about like, do they have anything that they need to resolve or something? Because that's what the cave is for. You fall into it, and then you have to be like, oh, okay, now.
Oh my God, the Duras Sisters podcast did an entire series about caves. And so the way that show works is they'll do, they go by series. So one week they'll do the original series, the next they do Next Generation. there were so many cave episodes in the Next Generation that they had to do 2 episodes. But I assume they mentioned this one.
I don't get it.
Or if they didn't,
Their
they missed
podcast
it.
is only about caves, or
No. They call it a series. So like they've done feminism, Romulans, engineers,
and
just
then they jump
all these different aspects.
Okay, and then they jump through the different shows, but with this theme.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, and so one of the things that came out of that series was that, caves are an opportunity to learn more about our characters and have them bond.
Yeah.
Because they're sort of forced together. It accelerates character moments. But I got to be on the episode about Lower Decks, the cartoon show, and it was so much fun.
Did they have caves in that one?
Just a couple. There's like 2 or 3 episodes where they're in caves. So we really got into the nitty gritty on that one. It was called That One Guy's Leg. I wrote a haiku and one of the caves, a guy breaks his leg and then it gets aged. So it's all like in a fucked up shape. It was really funny.
Oh no.
Caves 3. A shine with ancient light. Caverns glow in heart's reflections. That one guy's leg.
Snaps for that one. What I think about when I think about this cave is that guy's leg. Like when I started the episode, I was like, "Where's the leg guy?" I'm worried.
Poor Asif, man. This is rough. This might be the roughest as far as gruesome injuries go.
I guess I was gonna joke that I want to list all of the cave stories I can think of now, but it would take too long. But then I'm just like, yeah, this story had a cave and that story had a cave.
Do you mean like that we've covered or like
no,
in other
only
media?
in other media. Just like because we talked about how caves work, and I'm like, yes, that also is the case in this story, you know.
Oh, I mean, one of my favorite. Isn't there a cave in? What's the first Vorkoskin book with Cordelia and Errol?
They have.
Maybe there's no. Isn't there a cave where the guys have set up their gear? The bad guys, quote, like the guy that's mutinied.
Yeah, there is. But are they doing anything with the cave?
I think they're just there briefly. But the one I really remember is from the short story where Miles is up in the hills, in the mountains, and like uses the caves to misdirect the people hunting them.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
that's...
They have
the Emperor with them.
Yeah, the Miles is not in that one, but I know which one you mean. When they are leading the people down into the cave because they think that they went in there.
Oh, that's with Cordelia.
Yeah,
that's Barry R? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay.
And now I'm thinking maybe someone wrote a fan fiction where 2 people were in the cave looking for the Emperor, and then they were just like, let's have now deep, meaningful discussion. And then they died because they couldn't find the way out.
Oh, yeah, just some random Rosencrantz and Guildenstern stuck in a cave. I like it. Yeah, I can't think of any other cave things at the moment. But yeah, that was good. I like Yara leading an away team. I like Data throwing her. There were a lot of good moments. And yeah, the director came back and did 50 more episodes of Star Trek. So
Oof. That's like a whole job just directing the Star Trek.
Yeah, so he must have done something right. But yeah, if you really want to watch his first Code of Honor, it's real problematic, but it may be the worst episode.
Okay, we can watch it later if we feel like we need to watch something weird. But I think it depends, because sometimes things can be weird or problematic in an interesting way, and sometimes they're just like kind of boring. So that would not be fun.
Yes.
So
yeah, boring is no good.
Yeah.
The next episode, Symbiosis, has an interesting idea, but it's bad. So it's about drug addiction and the Prime Directive. So we could do that one, or we could skip to an actual good episode, which is the one after that.
Maybe skip, because I feel like I didn't like this one that much, so I don't want to be too complainy and be like, I don't like this. Meh.
Let's see, what's the next one? Oh no, Skin of Evil is legendarily terrible, but something super important happens in it.
Okay, I guess we'll do that one then.
It's so bad.
Oh no.
It's like fun bad, but it's very, very bad. But it's like so important to the history of the show.
Okay. I mean, I am kind of interested now, because it can be fun if it's. I guess I'm not kind of into hate watching, but it can be fun in a sort of, if you really are watching to see how they did different things, then it can be fun to watch it in that light.
Yeah. Okay. So well, if it's a quick episode, we can talk through the implications, but we don't have to get into all the nitty gritty if it's really bad.
I feel like if it's bad, it's gonna be a longer episode, because it's like, oh, why is it bad?
It could be, yeah. You never know.
If it's good, then it's just easy to be like, oh, this was good, yes, and then like nothing else to say.
And the one after that's probably critical too, because Picard is a romance. He has a romance, so that doesn't happen very often. And the one after that is like the best episode of the first season. A legendary episode called Conspiracy. So we're going to definitely do that.
Yeah, and then the one after that is the last one.
Indeed, yes. Which I don't remember anything about, but it has Romulans in it.
Oh.
Oh, it's got the frozen, reanimated humans from the 20th century. Oh my God. You're going to love that one. So recommendations? Do you have anything you've been enjoying?
I'm reading a book. I don't know if I have mentioned this before. I feel like I'm just, if I'm reading something for too long, but I'm reading a book called The Hands of the Emperor by Victoria Goodard, I think her name is, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. And, it's a very interesting book, because it's like very low plot. It's about this guy that is like working in a government in a fantasy world. And at first, I don't know, I was a little bit unsure what I would think about it, but I think that it always gives me more points when a book is like having low plot, but it still manages to be interesting. Or, I think that I feel like too many books have too much plot. There's like too much things happening, and you just want to be like, okay, but what is going on with this other thing? And you don't really get to dive into the, specifics about things, because it's just like, no, and now everybody's dying, and you're like just wanting to know a little bit more about the world and such.
Yeah, you don't get enough downtime or world stuff.
I think so. Yeah, it can be so many books, it's always like a crisis, and then you don't really get to know the characters or, see them in their normal life and this kind of thing. I think that if someone is like listening and they think, yeah, I do like when there's less plot, then you should read this one.
Hell yeah.
It's like the very most recent chapter that I read. There was a whole thing about like pronunciation of a person's name and why it was very important, like not in the sense of like of the pronunciation itself, but it was connected to this question about representation, and it became kind of a metaphor for more important things, like the question about how do you know when it's time to stand up for something or not? And like the idea that when people think about standing up for what is right, they often think about these huge, things like this like really important decisions or big impactful things. And what the main character is saying, that is very rarely happens, but instead it's like the small things in everyday life where that is the question, like, do you stand up for things then? And I really like this.
That's cool.
I recommend it, but I have only read half of it, so if it's bad in the other half, I cannot be responsible.
One series that's good for character work that's less focused on plot is the Wayfarer series by Becky Chambers. It's just really good about character stuff and getting to know them.
Yes.
And it's set in space.
It is excellent. And also, that one, I did not read the first book for a long time because people said it was a collection of short stories. And it kind of is, but I think if you dislike short stories like I often do, you will still like it. So I would say don't skip the first one.
Good deal. So an anti-recommendation is the MGM Plus series, The Institute. It takes all the bones of the original book by Stephen King, but leaves out like the best parts, probably for budgetary reasons or because a computer wrote it or something, who knows. But yeah, so don't watch that. Read the book. It's so good. It's one of those like slow build books that just by the end of it, you can't put it down. It's really intense. But it's about a kid who's kidnapped and sent to this institute that like beefs up your telepathy skills so that you can take part in this weird government operation, and a guy who helps rescue him. And it's really good. So check that out. That's from 2019. So it's one of the newer Kings. But it's a standout. So as always, they can't reach you directly, but they can email us at greatandsecretknowledge@gmail.com. And I'm at El Jefe Tacoma on all your social medias. I also have a show. It's a space opera show. It's actual play RPG show called Shattered Worlds RPG. We do one with my game, which is like robots and zombies and spaceships and stuff. And we do a D&D side quest. We occasionally play other role-playing games as well that a couple of our players made. And I also do the other one, Omniversal Escapades, which is a bi-weekly live stream at twitch.tv/omniversalescapades. That's every other Sunday at 6:30 Pacific, and it's also archived at youtube.com/omniversalescapades. I think that's all I've got going. Anything else?
No, nothing from me.
All right. Did you have a particular quote you wanted to stick at the end?
No, I didn't have. I think, like you said, that the speech is good.
The Geordi speech. Cool. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Hopefully the freedom of speech will continue to exist. We'll see you out there.
Yes. See you.
Ride's gonna get a little bumpy. Things are gonna happen fast. Just keep alert, stay calm. Let's focus on what we're doing. You know your jobs. You've been trained, you've been tested. You've earned the right to sit in those chairs.
A huge thanks to James Lark of jameslark.co.uk for providing our wonderful theme song. Thank you, James.
out a bit.
Can't go anymore. My leg feels like a knot.
Just suck it up. You're still young.
Yeah, come on, kid. I wish I was your age.
Oh, God! My leg fell off!
Yeah, that is not good.